Hey everyone, welcome back to Misty Sharing God's Blessings. I'm coming to you tonight to give you part 2 of my testimony. If you haven't seen part 1, jump over to my channel and catch up on that one first and then come back to this one. So the last time I put my testimony out was some years back, and a lot has went on since then. So I just kind of wanted to give everyone an update on what's been going on in these years since I made the first part. And if you would like, subscribe, share these videos, please get them out. They could maybe help somebody, and that's what it's all here for. So we are going to start back a few years ago, and I have 4 grandbabies now, 3 little boys and a little girl. That's super exciting, and I'm so grateful for those sweet little babies. We have moved into an apartment. We've been here for a couple of years now. My husband and I are still together, doing great. Our kids are now married and have babies, and our family has really grown a lot. But a life update and part of my story, my testimony, we are going to get into some deep issues. So if, just a trigger warning right off the top, we will be getting into some deep issues, subjects. So we'll start back. Like I said, I've got some grandbabies now. Life is pretty good at the moment, but we have had some very difficult times. If you don't know already, I'll kind of tell a little bit about the first part. My name is Misty, and I started this channel back in 2017. Just a way to get my testimony out there, and I would make my family videos and things. I'm also a former drug addict, and that's a big part of my first part of my testimony also. So, touching on those 2 subjects, we will talk about right off, because here comes the trigger warning again. We will start off with talking about mental health. If you don't know already and haven't seen my other video, I am bipolar. I have anxiety and depression. And I was diagnosed with those illnesses right after my daughter was born, my youngest, back in 2000. Since then, it's still been a complete roller coaster ride, as you know. If you suffer with mental health too, you never really know from one minute to the next. And these years have been no different really than in the first testimony part. One, I've had a lot going on with that. I still suffer very much from all of it. I have times where it feels completely unbearable, to be honest. I went through a really bad episode about 2 years ago, where I just went completely manic for about a week, because I was told from another doctor that I didn't have bipolar after all these years of them saying that I did. And because of that, I went off my medication for the first time ever in many, many years. And then when I came off the medication, it triggered me into a really bad manic episode, and it was very clear to me that I did have bipolar because it was all the same symptoms as I had had in the past. So always listen to your gut, because I don't think I would have had to go through all this if there wasn't a doctor to tell me that I did not have it. So I was going through that episode, and it was just days after days after days. I just could not go to sleep. And that itself felt like it was driving me crazy. And then I started having panic attacks for that whole week, like just a week straight of just again and again and again and again on panic attacks. That was the most horrible, craziest feeling I'd ever had in my life, dealing with mental health. I thought I was going crazy. I called the crisis hotline. I went to the ER. I just felt like I was losing my mind. And so finally I went back and to my old doctor that I had been going to, and he put me back on all of my medications, and I started getting back on track again. So always, like I said, listen to your gut. You know you better than any doctor knows you, and I knew good and well that I had bipolar disorder. But I was off the meds for about 7 months, and right before Thanksgiving a couple of years back is when everything started hitting me again, and I just got really sick for months after that until I was back on my meds and stabilized again. And really, it's took me, even this year, in the beginning of this year, I was still trying to get back on the right medication because the old medication didn't work for me anymore. I was having too many side effects from it. So finally, I would say in the last probably 3 or 4 months, I've really started getting more regulated on my meds again. And so that's definitely gotten a little better. I still suffer with anxiety on a daily. And if you do too, I'm so sorry for that because I know it's awful. It's completely horrible. But you have to keep praying to get through, and that's what I do, and it definitely helps because I couldn't do any of this without Jesus Christ. And he gives me strength, and I just keep going because I have to. So that's that on the mental health. That's definitely still a struggle, and I do believe that it probably always will be. But that we just have to deal with it. It's difficult as it is. And the next part, I want to talk about sobriety. Sobriety is super hard. I had been on drugs since I was 16 years old until I was 30 years old. If you want to know more in detail about that, just please, again, go over to part 1 of my testimony, and that will all be on there. But since then, I have slipped up, to be completely honest, and I'm not sure what I can say on YouTube, on the green that you smoke. I did not backslide on any of the harder stuff that I used to be on, the white powder and all of that. I am still completely clean from everything except for the green. I did backslide on that over the past few years. And you know what? What I've learned about that is that you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. It's about how you pick yourself back up and put yourself back up again, and remembering everything that you have learned over the years and everything that God has taught you and where your strength and everything comes from. And because of my relationship with God, I'm able to understand, like, okay, you slipped up, you're on a path that you probably really you don't need to be getting back on. But addiction is hard. Don't beat yourself up over it over and over and over and over, because that's exactly what I did, which came around and affected my mental health even worse. But I was having so much anxiety and my mental health was so messed up that I thought, okay, if I did that, then maybe I could chill out a little bit. Maybe I could feel better. And so that definitely has happened. But it's how you get back up, how you pick yourself back up, put yourself back up again, and start back over again and again and again, as many times as you have to conquer this disease, because that's exactly what it is. And I know that's hard for some people to understand that has not experienced drug addiction. It's not easy. And you know, if you have something that you like and it's making you feel good, or at least you think it is, and someone comes and tries to take that away from you, you're going to get defensive about the situation. But as far as everything else, I have stayed clean since, I believe now it's been since, I want to say 2009 or 2010. You can look back on my first part 1 of my testimony and know that 100%. It's been a while now. But like I said, don't beat yourself up. Just keep trying, keep praying, keep reaching out for help, because you can get back on the right track again. It's just, addiction is rough. It's hard. And anytime I get stressed out or I'm going through something or whatever, that's just what I was used to doing, is reaching out for drugs. So that's that on the recovery part and the addiction, and just living every day as an addict, because once you're an addict, you're an addict. But it's how you deal with it that makes a difference. How you deal with it after you realize that you've got that problem. So other than that, really, that's pretty much all that's really went on. My family's grown. Mental health is still pretty bouncy. My YouTube channel has really extremely just grown so much since I made my first part of my testimony. We are over 4,000 subscribers now. That's amazing. Thank you, God. And thank you, everyone that supports my channel. It is based on mental health. It's based on drug addiction and recovery, Jesus Christ, and some of my videos I do make. I have family videos. So if you are struggling with addiction, mental health, there's a lot of things on there that I think could really help you, because I've been there too, and you're not alone. I've definitely been through it also. I also have started a new podcast about a month ago now. We are gonna put the 5th episode up soon I'm going to do that on a weekly basis. I was trying to do it on Mondays, but it really is not panning out correctly. So it will come up one of the days during the week. It will be a weekly podcast, and we will go over certain subjects. And if there's anything that y'all want to talk about, let me know, and I can do that for y'all. And so thanks again for supporting my channel. And this is part 2 of my testimony. Again, go back to part 1, catch up, and that has a lot more details in the first part. So thank y'all again. Have a great night, and thanks. Bye.